Riding a four-wheeler through the desert is a lot different than riding a horse. You're not quite as worried about falling off and, well, landing on one of the many sharp, stinging plants designed to poke holes in your fun afternoon. So where are we going today?
We're going to go up to those big mountains over there where you see all those yellow wildflowers. And we're going to go up into one of those canyons and we're going to tour around. I'm going to show you guys a real cool old horse corral up there, literally back from the Western days. And then I'm going to show you a really big cactus.
All right, let's do this.
Absolutely. Like I said, you just start
I thought that quad was normal size until you got on it.
Well, they don't have a quad called Tiny, don't they?
Well, maybe I should get one.
Yeah.
That would be very fitting.
The rush of the wind in your face as the sun-baked landscape races past is something you have to experience to truly appreciate. And up here are the remains of some old cattle pens, beautifully weathered with age, reminding me of a scene straight out of an old Western movie. Tell me about this corral.
This is an old cattle corral. This spot here is well over 100 years old, and you'll find these kind of scattered throughout the whole desert range out here. And basically what they were was the cowboys with their cattle and their horses would come to these spots, and usually there was water available. This particular area, they had a pipeline literally running. Yep, right here. This runs up another mile up into the mountains to an old... was a natural spring.
Where it collects? Oh,
yep,
it was
a natural spring.
Okay.
They couldn't get water here, so they would pipe the water all the way down with these little pipes, piece by piece, into this big tank here. And that would fill up and it'd be able to divvy out the water for the cattle and the horses and whatnot.
So I understand you guys bring your guests out here and you sleep.
Sometimes
under
we
the
do
stars.
that. Yep. It's rugged, all right. Little
so
table.
You just have a bunch of cots, you throw it out here, everybody's got their little spot, and you just fall asleep.
Many times you'll be woken up actually by coyotes in the early morning. Almost every time I come up here, I hear coyotes in the early morning down in this wash right here. And right as that sun rises, which is really pretty amazing. It's a very primal feeling to wake up to animals.
I like it.
Making noise.
I still wake up to coyotes, and I live in San Diego. I hear them.
In the city,
I do.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
A little further up the trail is something even older than these cattle pens. A huge cactus, possibly the biggest in Arizona. This one has stood over and watched the landscape for hundreds and hundreds of years.
So the reason that you'll see Saguaro Cactus up here is because we're quite a bit higher than the ranch. The ranch sits at about 1,800 feet above sea level. Saguaros ideally like to grow above 2,000 feet. And right now, we're probably at about 2,200 right now. Okay. And this is why, if you start looking up, there's one up there, one over there, you're going to start seeing them further up into the valley. Yeah. And it's all about the elevation. There's probably some science behind it in terms of, the air quality or where they can grow and whatnot. But that's it's a big factor. And this is where you start to see them. And there's a lot of them up in these mountains and in these canyons. And this is just such a shining example of how massive they can get. And if you actually, and speaking of rocks, if you look at the roots, it's growing in rock.
Yeah, in rock.
It is literally growing in the side of the mountain in a rock. And I wonder if that has helped kind of keep it really rooted for all these years.
Strong foundations, man. That's what it's about. And that's obviously keeping that big boy up. So definitely. Because we're sitting on metamorphic rock, you have a lot of sort of cleavage areas, openings between rock layers. For the roots to sort of take that channel, that growth, and that solidifies it. So, absolutely fantastic example. Great specimen. Wow.
Well, this has certainly been a pleasure this week.
Thank you. That was.
Thank you. Thanks for coming out.
It was a great weekend.
It's a long trip from South Africa, but I appreciate it. So thank you.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for all these wonderful people. And
thanks for letting us cruise in on your trip.
You've got a good thing going here, and come to Stagecoach.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy it.
Stagecoach Trails Guest Ranch. Let's make sure we get the whole title. A customary way to celebrate your final night at Stagecoach Trails Guest Ranch is to light off a cannon salute and say goodbye.
So a tradition here we do at the ranch is we shoot a cannon to celebrate sunset. And Debbie's volunteered to shoot the cannon. And you're just going to pull hard. Everyone ready? You're going to pull hard.
Ready, everybody?
Got ready.
Jesus. I did it! Thank you so much. Welcome. Oh, man. We've had a great time. There's something about the desert, the wagons, and the landscape that just feels like the true Old West out here. And the McCormick family wouldn't have it any other way. Hey, I just want to say thank you so much. This family has welcomed me into their family, and that's one really cool, unique thing I can do. I can float from family to family, but no, I have it anytime I want to come back. So, thank you so much.
Anytime.
Oh, thank you.
Anytime.
I had a good time here. A family concert in the lodge gives us all a reason to enjoy each other one last night and let Joe steal the spotlight one more time. That's it for now. Be sure to join us next time, right here on Debbie Dunning's Dude Ranch Roundup.